Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on LaRoy, Texas, also known as LaRoy, a comedy about a guy who's getting his wife is cheating on him, and through circumstances, he becomes a hitman. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So, the premise is this guy, his wife is cheating on him. And he goes out, he buys a gun, and he's about to kill himself. He's sitting in his parking lot, and a guy immediately sits down next to him and gives him an assignment to kill a dude. Gives him some money. And he tries to tell him he's not the person he's looking for. But he doesn't really listen, so he kills the dude. I don't know if it's the same guy who's cheating on his wife, or if he just, at that moment just says, screw it, I'll kill the dude. Why not? But he kills him. So the next day, his buddy, who's played by Steve Zahn, who's trying to be a private detective, he's in on the case. There's also an actual hitman, this guy, who's played by Dylan, I forget his last name. This guy here. He's an actual hitman, but he doesn't look like one. So in this scene, he picks up a dude who broke down in his car and then drives him out to the desert where he eventually kills him. The movie is written and directed by Shane Atkinson. Now, it looks pretty good. It's got kind of a Fargo vibe to it in terms of the comedy. So eventually, of course, the guy this dude killed, I guess he's connected in some way, and the other hitman has to come and find out who killed him. And so he's actually solving the case. The police are clueless probably because he killed a dude that he had absolutely no connection with. And that makes it very tough for the police to figure out who did it. And it makes it even tough for the criminals to think. But the criminals are usually one step ahead of the police in this realm. So eventually they come to kill him. There's Steve Zahn playing he's trying to be like a private detective, but he's in over his head too. And eventually they're confronted by the hitman. So it looks pretty good. I like the look of it. All right, written and directed by Shane Atkinson. John Magaro, Steve Zahn, Megan Stevenson, Matthew Del Negro, and Dylan Baker. Dylan Baker is the actual hitman. That's his name. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. The music, here's his wife. She says, I'm off to the movies. Just eat your pizza. That's rough, dude. That's rough. So, interesting. It's a dark comedy. Obviously, people are dying. But here's how the way I see it going. First act, the opening of the movie is going to be Dylan Baker killing that dude. Killing the dude he picked up. He's a totally unassuming hitman. And the scene rolls out something like he picks up a hitchhiker and kind of susses him out. Well, he's not a hitchhiker. He broke down in his car. So Dylan, is very cautious, but eventually he picks him up. And then they get into a conversation. And the guy's like, whoa, what are you, nervous? Some sort of murderer? And Dylan turns it around on him and says, oh, well, you never know. I could be the guy picking up you to drive you someplace to kill you. Ha, 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 ha. And then I think they cut to the field where he's burying the guy. Then, a short time later, the next scene is to establish this dude and his wife is cheating on him, obviously. She says, I'm going out to the movies, but she refuses to tell him, really any details. And then she leaves, and he's eating a pizza, and he probably follows her and finds out. And then he decides, that's it, my life is over. So he goes out, he buys a gun, he's going to end it all. And then a guy gives him the assignment. because he mistakes him for the hitman. So he kills the dude. I'm not sure why, other than maybe he doesn't like him, or maybe he's the guy who is banging his wife. That would be the most obvious thing. But he's really unassuming, so the police they somehow end up questioning him, but they don't suspect it's him, right? Because maybe they don't know about the cheating wife or whatever. So the second act's all about the investigation, and then maybe Dylan, as the actual hitman, was supposed to get the job, and he's trying to figure out who took the job ahead of him. Maybe that makes a little more sense. And then it becomes, him trying to avoid Dylan Baker and the consequences of his actions, and Steve Zahn trying to help him. And eventually, he figures out that he's the actual hitman, or he's the actual killer. And then in the third act, there's some sort of confrontation, but Steve Zahn and this dude are way in over their heads. But during the fight, they manage to somehow kill him, or he ends up getting killed. Maybe runs out into the street, not paying attention, and gets hit by a car, and some sort of ironic scene. Or maybe he comes to his house and kills his wife, and or takes her hostage, and then during that ends up killing his wife, and then somehow dying, and then like all the murders get blamed on Dylan instead of him, and he gets away with it, and his cheating wife dies, and or maybe not. That might be a little too dark. I don't know. But it looks kind of funny. I kind of like these comedies, so I would see it. Totally. I would even go to the theater for it. Be a fun date movie, I think, because it's funny. Let's see. Here's the write-up. When Ray discovers his wife is cheating on him, he decides he's going to kill himself. His plans suddenly change when a stranger mistakes him for a low-rent hitman. Yeah. It's a good premise. I like it. I'm interested to see how it all comes together, because I think it does come together. It has the feeling of a movie that they thought about it, A little bit of Fargo, a little bit Coen Brothers in this, so I like it. I like the cut of its jib. So it's called LaRoy, Texas, or LaRoy. On the IMDb, I think it's just called LaRoy. Yeah, it's just called LaRoy. The original title was LaRoy, Texas. I wonder why they changed it. So, yeah, it looks good. What else are you going to say? And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for a more bass takes. If you can find a more bass take, I'd say take it. Next up tomorrow, I'll be at the Riverview Estates in Riverton, New Jersey, for my 2 p.m. talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. And then on the 16th, I'm doing 2 events that day. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely nuts. That's on Saturday. Hope to see you at something. We'll see you in the next one.